Hi, welcome to Chat with Dr. Kat. I'm Dr. Kat. Nice to see you today. Today we're going to be talking about just some relationship tips. You can use this with your friends, you can use this with your family, your partners, whomever. And it's just sitting down and having a real conversation with specific questions. So I'm going to talk to you about 4 or 5 different questions that you can sit down and talk to anybody about. Now, before we get to that, if you have any questions, any thoughts or feelings, as always, go to chatwithdrkat.com. Let me know. You can put it in anonymously or you can put it in and I will get back to you. I'm really enjoying a lot of these emails that I'm receiving, and I'm really looking forward to many guests that we're going to have on the show in the near future. So now, before we get started, as always, no fluff, no judgment, just real talk that leads to real change. So this is what I'm going to recommend. Here are the questions. Find a friend. Let's start with a friend first. Now, if your partner is your best friend, that's great. But it would be wonderful if you can include a couple of different aspects in your life. Now, keep in mind, this is a real conversation. A real conversation. So you want to choose somebody who is a really close friend of yours, one that you feel very comfortable giving your heart to. Now, for men, what do I mean by that? Someone who's going to be real with you, who is not going to have jealousy or any type of ulterior motive in their responses to you. Women, same thing. Pick someone that you truly trust, that knows they care and love about you. Here's question 1. I always start with the question that has the positive angle, right? Not so much the specific negativity or the challenging question. So here's the first one. What are 2 things that I can do better in our relationship? Now, the reason why you ask that is what can I do better? Can I be on time better? Now, you don't want to give suggestions. You want to really sit back and let the person think about it. You also may want to say, take a couple minutes. I'm going to sit here, drink my coffee, whatever it is. Give them a moment. You guys can go out to coffee. You can be in each other's homes. You can be on Zoom. It would be great if you could do it face to face. I think that would be really important. It's not vital. I just think that presence is important. Whatever it is, have this conversation. What can I do? 2 things that I can do better. This opens up a huge conversation with your friend because they can say, well, I would like it if you could be on time. I would like it if you could text me back sooner. I would like it if I saw you more. I would like it if I could get a phone call. When we're out on a girls' night or out with the guys, I really want you to have my back more. Then you can ask, well, what does that look like? What does it look like? But what you're doing is you're checking in on your relationships. Oftentimes we don't do that. We just kind of flow with things, and when problems arise, we deal with it, which I think is good. But why not work on it to improve who you are as a human being? If you can improve your kindness level, if you can improve who you are, why not? Why not? I think it's a great lesson. And then to tell your kids, this is what I'm doing. There's this new thing that I'm doing right now. I'm asking, and it's even powerful to ask your kids, what is it that you think I could do better? It's a powerful one, especially with those teenagers. Now, here's the next question. What are 2 things that I do that irritate you? That's a tough question because not everybody wants to answer that. Because they're fearful that maybe you'll retaliate, or maybe they're fearful that you're going to be angry or hurt or any of those things. But really, why do you ask that? Because it's another way to say, how can I do things better? What do I do that irritates you? It could be as simple as, I don't like when you chew with your mouth open. I can't stand that. What's another thing? They could say, again, you don't have my back, or you don't call me enough. There's another thing. It really frustrates me that when I call you, I take the time to call you and tell you exciting things that are going on in my life. And sometimes it takes a week for you to get back. It really irritates me. And you may not even be thinking that. You may not even be thinking that that's a source of irritant. But when you know, you can do better. When you know better, you can do better. That's really the whole part of this activity, is learning about how you can be better. Here's the next question. Here are 2 things that I like to tell you. Is that okay? May I tell you about 2 things that I would like for you to do that would be better? May I ask you that? Now, by asking permission, you're opening up the door. Now, remember, do your best to not be tit for tat, meaning that if they say, well, you're late all the time, well, you're late all the time too. That's not the point of the activity. The point of the activity is to really open up your heart and realize, what are things that I can do differently that promotes change for other people and myself, that leads to a better relationship. Now, before we get to that, when you say, I'd like to ask permission, when you're dealing with a relationship, now the first 2 I really did talk about with friends, but when you're looking at it from a relationship standpoint, maybe it's something like, I would really like for us to spend an hour a day being together. If you've got kids, you're putting kids down, or you're dealing with kids' issues, or maybe you just have work, your work schedules are huge. Maybe it's 2 ships passing in the night, but finding 1 hour a day where you can connect. That's something that I feel that would make the relationship better, or that's what you could do better. Maybe you could go back to courting me. Maybe you can leave me some notes. Maybe you can call me during the day, send me a text message, I'm thinking about you. I would really like that. Here are the irritating things. Can you put the roll on the toilet paper handle? Can you put that back? Maybe put the cap back on the toothpaste. Look, I always joke about cap on the toothpaste, but it is a really big issue. Following through. Why is it the other person's responsibility to always find the roll of toilet paper, either on the counter, on the floor, or hanging on the side? Takes seconds to put it on the holder. What about cap on the toothpaste? Whether you're clicking it back, twisting it on, that tells the other person that you know that they're coming to use that next, and that you care about their feelings and emotions. You care about the fact that they don't have to clean off the sink, take the little chunk of old toothpaste off, that you know that you are being respectful. Maybe you'll get something big like, well, I feel like what you could do better, maybe reach out to my family more. Connect with my family more. Maybe it would be, could you be present with our kids more? These are some really big issues that maybe you did not know. See, oftentimes, again, like I said in the beginning, people seek help when something happens, something catastrophic happens, something big happens, someone's frustrated, the last straw that broke the camel's back, which I always feel is such a great analogy when you really think about it. Poor camel, but think about it this way. The camel is carrying so much on their back, right? Stress, anxiety, issue after issue after issue. And you have this one last piece of straw that normally you wouldn't even feel in your hand, okay? But you take that straw and you put it, and that's it. All hell breaks loose. Terrible. Something's going on here. You get a huge reaction. And it's because it is a constant pouring, putting, placing on the back of that camel. That one little piece sets everything off. So, by doing things like these exercises, you're preventing from those things from happening. Because a lot of times I will get people that come in and say, God, I didn't know it was such a big issue. Wow, I didn't know that they were under so much stress. Wow, I didn't know that this is what was going on. I feel blindsided. Are you blindsided? Maybe you've just allowed yourself to be blinded by it. Maybe there are some situations where you're completely blindsided. But I always find it fascinating when people start getting into it. They'll say, oh yeah, I did see that, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Oh, she did mention that to me, but I brushed it off. Oh, he did tell me how much that hurt his feelings, but I kept doing it. It's things like that, right? Or the passive aggressiveness. So by doing an activity like this can be really, really great. So now you go into the permission. May I tell you 2 things that I would like you to do that would better our relationship? Again, a friendship. You can do this with your child. You can do it with your partner. Now, I gave examples of a friend and I gave examples of a partner. What about a child? Now, when they're little, sometimes you can ask them questions that give you an idea of how they feel and how they see you. So you can say to them, hey, now this is a tough question, but you can say, hey, when you get hurt, how do you feel I react to you? What would you like me to do better when you get hurt? Maybe you have hurt feelings or you've banged your knee. Is there something I can do better for you when you're hurt like that? What can I do differently when I've asked you to clean the animal cage and you repeatedly not do it? How can I ask you differently? Because you seem to get upset, but what can I do? Because I need you to clean the cage. And I need you to realize that I've asked you several times, what can I do differently? Sometimes by putting the responsibility back on that person, they can say, well, I think what you could do is just come to me and say, hey, when do you have time to do this in the next 2 days? I'm going to do that. But if I do that, you're going to clean the cage. Yes. Okay, we've got a deal. See, so what happens is when you're the one that keeps saying it over and over and over and over and over, they just get to be irritated. But now you're coming with the solution and it's their solution. Okay? So these are some great tips that you can use in all types of relationships. Then you can end with, in all situations, I just want to tell you what I really appreciate about you and our friendship. This is what I really appreciate about our partnership, our marriage. This is what I really appreciate with our relationship, mother-child, father-child, whatever it is. This is what I really, really appreciate. And talk about it. I appreciate that you're always on time. I appreciate that you're able to do this for me. I appreciate that you're real with me. I appreciate that when I'm in a bad mood, you allow me space to be in a bad mood, and then I can come back and it's okay. I can start over. I really appreciate that. I appreciate when you say sorry for the things that you do. I appreciate when you know that I'm tired and you say to me, hey, I just want to let you know, I know you're working late. I'm going to cook dinner. All of those things. I really appreciate that you work so hard. I really appreciate that you work hard on your grades. I appreciate you keep your room clean. I really appreciate that. This can go on and on and on. Let that last question to be the bulk of your conversation. Because this is where you're telling the person, I appreciate you. I care about you. And I want you to feel that level of appreciation and the kindness I'm giving you. That's what's important. So here are your questions, and here's a challenge. Maybe start with something that you know that it might be easier on you. If you're up for the challenge and you want to take this tough one first, great. But this is kind of a hard thing to do. But again, choose wisely. If you're in a bad place in your relationship, your partnership, maybe not start there. Maybe start with a parent that you know that you have a good relationship with, but you want to better it. Start with the child that you have the better relationship with at the moment. Start slow, because the one thing that I would encourage you not to do is that when it gets tough, that you stop and walk away. This is so important for relationships. So important. Okay, this is Chat with Dr. Kat. I'm Dr. Kat. Thank you so much for listening today. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you soon.